screen and go home. Well, we could trade stories about the Minneapolis police all day. Looks like they're moving up. Moving up. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking off with my own eyes, and the camera was way off. I apologize for that. Tomorrow we'll be around as well. I don't think we're going to stay out as much tonight as we have been and we'll have paid it in the past. And then tomorrow, stay aware because we will probably be live, maybe around noonish. Hopefully back in, which I didn't tell anybody about. Again, thank you all for joining us, Unicorn Riot. If you want to know more about our organization, we are a 501c3 educational nonprofit dedicated to exposing and bringing context to social and environmental struggles. You can find our work at unicornriot.ninja, our website. We have topics that are listed off. We have video archive that isn't all the way updated because we've just been so busy lately. We have documentaries that are up on the documentary tab. We've been doing a lot of work for 5 years. We started as a volunteer-run organization, and we've now gone into a nice... We're able to actually get, you know, some kind of really good budgeting going on every now and then. Unicorn Riot. What's up? I'm live right now too. I'm live right now, just so you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. I just wanted to know, like, where were you guys during the daytime?
Yeah, I've been out so much lately. Mm-hmm. I had to actually like take a rest.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, it was one of those things where it's like, I had like 2 hours of sleep for 3-4 days straight.
Right. I feel you.
Yeah, and I just couldn't. You know what I mean?
So is it just you in Minneapolis?
No. We have a very small team.
Okay.
You know?
So
we're less than 10.
Or anything?
We're less than 10, and in Minneapolis, there's nobody else. You know, it's right now in Minneapolis, it's just me. We got Jen over in St. Paul and Georgia in St. Paul, and they're very busy as well. Jen's been also covering stuff. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like, what are you trying to?
My question is how come, from what I've seen on the Twitter, there's no coverage of the daytime? There's no peaceful, you know, or no responses from peaceful protesters. You only seem to come out when shit hits the fan, and like I understand your name is Unicorn Riot, but why come here if you're just focusing on the people instigating violence?
I would totally disagree with that. We bring the voices of the community. So I ask anybody who wants to speak what they would want to say. And we walk around all the periphery, we walk around to the front line, to the back line, and our mission is to bring context around social and environmental struggles. And right now in the narratives in the media, continuously for the hundreds of years, have not been for the community. They've been from the power structure. And so essentially it's who's going to bring the voice of the community if there's not people bringing that voice on a platform. And so that's what our mission is, and that's our agenda right there. Like we're not on the, whatever else your agenda you're thinking about, but we're about bringing context, bringing the community's voice to the world. Yeah. No, I appreciate the question because I didn't know people were. I did not know people were talking about it like that. I think that's quite flabbergasting and actually quite rude if you look at our past 5 years of coverage. So,
thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you listening.
For sure.
Appreciate the question too, man. Yes, our name is Unicorn Riot. I guess we do cover riots. Well, I guess we'll probably just like talk for a minute and then take the stream down because it doesn't look like there's much going on, and I'm sure this is quite boring for you all. I don't know. Again, unicornriot.ninja. We got an article. We have an article called "New Footage Reveals Moments." Let it load. Let it load. Before George Floyd's death. They're screaming, "Go home" again. There's some couple people, 7 to 10 to 20 people. Yeah, go to website, unicornriot.ninja. We have an article, "New Footage Reveals Moments Before George Floyd's Death," and you will be able to see that video we were just talking about a little bit ago. So, again, there was a lot of cities that sort of had solidarity actions, that have continued to have solidarity actions, and those solidarity actions got a little bit more wild even the last couple of days. Real briefly, I'll bring up sort of what we started at. When we started the stream, we were on the corner of Garfield and Lake, and there was some folks talking about how they felt about outside agitators in that conversation, and how that sort of conversation shifted last night. Well, that's what some other folks were talking about. I don't know if that was said on the stream specifically, but when the conversation shifted from, you know, people being like, "Oh wow," and this is what a friend said to me. Shout out R. They said that, like, look, you know, it's like, one second. I gotta move. From my memory, said something like, the first couple nights it was like really great. The public perception was like, "Oh, this is really great." Like black youth and other youth are able to speak their voice, and people are starting to be heard. Riots are the voice of the unheard. And then you had sort of like last night, and today the rhetoric changed. Personally, I saw a few groups, Lance Scarcella types. If you know anything about the 5th precinct, or 4th precinct takeover, this 4th precinct shut down 18 days at the 4th precinct from November 15th to December 3rd, 2015, after Jamar Clark was killed by Minneapolis police, shot in the face, unarmed. After that happened, there was an intense protest. From those intense protests, there was a few days of wildness where there was a group of white supremacists. This group of white supremacists came a few times to the precinct. The second time they came to the precinct, they shot 5 unarmed black protesters. Those folks, Alan Scarcella, Julio Suarez, and oh my gosh, my memory, Nathan Gustafson, and like 2 others. Those folks have been planning it. They've been memeing it. They've been planning it. They've been 4chaning it. They came over. They sought the stream out. They were like, "Oh, Unicorn, been looking for you." And, you know, all of it was fishy. I didn't really understand what they were talking about. They're speaking in these coded words about, you know, the fire's rising. I don't know what you're talking about. So, in general, I think I sort of went over this yesterday, too. I don't want to say the same things. But the point is that type of people had been around. They've definitely been around. I've seen them. I've felt them. I've saw them multiple times. So those types of people are here. I heard the stories about the Proud Boys thing in Pimento, where Proud Boys were sitting out, supposedly. Like, I don't want to give, you know, this is supposedly. I didn't see it with my own eyes. There's like folks that I trusted, I think, that have said that it happened. but I haven't like been privy to find out the whole story. And so, in general, I think what happened with Pimento, or I think what I heard with Pimento, which is a great restaurant and a great spot. Supposedly, like there were some Proud Boys outside, like rolling around. I also heard today of some like stories of some weird-looking white folks, and weird-looking white folks is not different. You know, that's not something different that happens in Minneapolis. There's a lot of weird-looking folks around in Minneapolis and Minnesota in general is a very white state. So, what I'm getting at is, yes, there was those incidences. But also, yes, we saw for many days who was on the front line. We were interviewing them on the front line. Those folks that were on the front line, they told us why they were doing things. Beyond them telling us why they were doing things, what they did was they were rowdy as well. You know, I would speak to the police. To be honest, I would give them an interview. We've given police interviews any time in the past. These police officers will not give an interview. They will not talk to you. They're not trying to talk to you. And so if you're talking about agenda, you know, which side are you on? We're on the people's side, to the community side, to allow the community to tell their stories. But also, we do our best to be fair. We do our best to bring context, and when you have to bring context, you have to be intelligent about the situation, and you have to understand and analyze what you're actually looking at and how the history bears out, how the future bears out, who's winning in whatever you're looking at, and everything else. And so, for those questions that was 7 shots. I'm gonna walk down to Lake Street. For those questions that end up happening, you know, it's just sort of unfortunate that all these narratives sort of get spun, in my opinion. Even as a media maker, you know, you see the truth, you see what is the truth, you see what you think is happening. It's not always a conspiracy. Like, black folks got a reason to be mad. George Floyd's death wasn't a hoax. Black Lives Matter isn't Russian agents, all Russian agents. It seems like a lot of the times when these narratives comes out, it makes it disingenuine. It makes a struggle disingenuine. No, I'm pressed, homie. No worries, you're good. You're okay. Yes. I think it's sort of, in general, like, it's very, I don't want to sound rude, but it's sort of an entitled feeling to be ended up, to question somebody's motives based on their life's time of when they, you know, get to work. Like, to be honest, that question of what our agenda is, do we only come out when the riots come? You'll see tomorrow. You'll see, if you go into our work, like I said, you will see that we are much more than that. We are much more than whatever small agenda you would think. We cover quite a few topics, do quite a lot of things, and we focus on quite a lot of different A lot of people just do not want to be filmed. Don't want No, I'm not. I'm not. Just pointing at the ground. Cut Callaway. Cut Callaway.
Be safe. Be safe, guys. Be safe.
Thank you. Are you part of this crew?
Yes, we're just watching the business, nothing else.
Can I part of this crew?
Yes, we're just watching the business, nothing else.
Can I if we can, we can. If we're not live, we'll have some really good video. Good. Anything going on there?
We ain't even. Some burning. Shit down there.
Okay. An outro. Uh, I think it's dispersed. I don't know. It's hard to tell if they're cops or not, even on the zoom in.
Oh, that's dope.
Well, you all stay safe out here.
You too, man.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Appreciate it. I mean, in general, the workers are the bosses. We don't have any bosses. And so, we have the choice to sort of cover. We covered. And 2 days ago, when we were talking about burning anything, we heard a wonderful person give the analogy of a forest fire. After a forest fire, what happens? A regrowth. They were saying, after all these fires, they want a regrowth. Otherwise, these fires were in vain. We hear that rhetoric from the political elite that they understand the systemic problems and the systemic issues. And within that understanding, they know that they need to make some change. Yet, here we are. Is there any tangible change? That's what people are looking for. Are you live right now?
Not yet.
Yep. I didn't want to go in your shot. Stay safe out here, y'all. Thank you. on Twitter for specific pictures of those actions and video, and we were live earlier from Philly.
What are these?
I don't know.
These look like fucking toilet paper rolls.
So that's the police and other law enforcement officers.
Let's do it. Why don't we all put our hands on the whiteboard?
What is this?
Oh, come on, man.
One second. It says drag stabilizer beanbag. To be honest, it's the first time I have seen one of these used by the Minneapolis Police Department. That's sitting next to this, which is a consistent out here. Black smoke, I think. Is there more folks down there?
What's that?
Is there more folks down there?
We're coming this way for the first time.
Oh, okay, okay.
Seems like it. We've been told by people that's where it's going on.
Thank you. This building is still up in flames. This is a check cashing place, as well as a few other things I can't really specifically remember. See, it's always changing over here for some reason. Burning structures and burning vehicles are quite the normalcy nowadays. 1 second. I need to put my light back on.
Oh, it is you again.
Hey, what up? How you doing?
Just trying to find our way to everybody.
Okay. So, I think what would be best is we'll do a quick outro at this car. I'm gonna walk up to Cup Foods, somewhere around there, and then we'll see what's going on. If there's some folks to talk to, we'll bring it back. If not, continue to follow us because tomorrow we'll be back. Should be around in the daytime. Just planning it anyway. Right here, we're under the what is it called? Underpass of the I-35 bridge. What up? What's up? No, I don't think that's a Humvee. That's just a regular truck. It's a regular white truck. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take it down. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Nico from Unicorn Riot. Thank you all for tuning in to basically an hour and a half stream tonight. I'm gonna walk over. We're gonna get over to Club Foods, check it out, see what's going on at the Vigil site in 38th Chicago. And if there's something going on, we'll be back live. If there's some folks that are down to talk, if it's just some folks that don't want to talk, then we'll just document and we'll talk to folks. So let's go. There's like one person off in the cut on the right side. It's just like chilling out against one of some concrete boulders. This is underneath I-35, brand new built I-30 block. Yeah, I think this part is brand newly built. I wonder if that'll affect the construction. The black smoke billowing is amazingly thick. You can sort of get a glimpse of how much smoke is coming up based on these street lights. But it's just so black up top that you won't be able to see anything. So, again, thank you all for joining. Sneaker from Unicorn Riot. We've been around for 5 years. Our mission is to bring context around social and environmental struggles. If you like our coverage, if you appreciate our work, you can go to unicornriot.ninja, click on the 5-year anniversary graphic, and if you're financially privileged, if you throw us some loot, throw us some maybe, you know, how much?